Kevin Fernandez, and welcome to my channel, Gamers Genie. Today, I'm going to be counting down my top 10 personal favorite tabletop games. Now, it's really hard for me to do this because, technically, I know what you're thinking. Now, wait a minute, Kevin. Haven't you been telling us your top 10 favorite games, throughout the course of these past couple of years? Yes, that is very true. I have been doing that. But these are my personal favorites. These are a lot of my go-to games and everything like that. I'm not counting anything except my one major rule for this list is it can't be by the same company, the same publishing company. So with that out of the way, let's count down. Okay, so number 10 is The Loop by Pandasaurus Games. This one I recently discovered at the 2021 Gen Con. I knew about it in 2020, but I played it in 2021 because stuff happened in 2020. We don't like talking about that year. But anyways, I do love this game. I like the cooperativeness about the game. I like the different time agents' powers and everything like that. And I also like how no matter how many players you play, you can still very much lose in this game. Which I always like. It's so weird how I like that now. I used to hate that. But I guess that's the thing about getting older. So yeah, definitely. But I love the very 70s look. It's very 60s, 70s, psychedelic artwork. Very cool. Very unique, and it definitely stands out in any game collection. I would not recommend this for beginners, though. So if you have someone who wants to learn a new game and they've never really played any games outside of Monopoly or never even played Monopoly, I would avoid this one. However, if you have played a couple games here and there, I definitely recommend trying it out. But I know there's different levels of gamers. So some people who are just brand new to the game could probably pick up this game, no problem. Play it. If they've never played a game, they could probably play it, no problem. I don't know. You have to make that call for yourself. Only you know your gaming group. But the goal is to try to complete four missions before Dr. Foe creates 4 vortexes. There's only 3 vortex tiles, but the 4th one it's like the game's gonna end, so why not? I kind of wish there was some big black hole thing or something like that to show, but I think that's a little extra that just me as a gamer want, because I want more stuff. That's usually how a gamer goes. They're like, oh, I want more stuff to this really fun game that I want. But number 10, The Loop. Okay, so number 9 is Fossilus by Kids Table Board Gaming. I recently played this year. Yeah, I played it at least 3 times, so it definitely falls under my whole I need to play it at least twice kind of rule. So I love this game. The reason why it's higher up on this list is mostly because it's still new. It has that to it, and The Loop as well. Both of those are still relatively new. I'm pretty sure if I did this at some point in the future, which I am planning on doing this at some point in the future, these will be probably a little further down, in the more lower numbers, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But I love it. I like how you have to get out the bones and and you need enough plaster, but you have to make sure you don't take all the plaster because that speeds up the game a bit. I like how there's ways you can get bonus points, and I know once again, one of the major complaints that some people have about this game is the score track only goes up to 50. Here's the problem with that argument. Ticket to Ride has a score track that goes up to 100. I have played multiple games of every single map of Ticket to Ride where I've gone past 100. There is no such thing as a long enough score track. So for me, that's not really an issue anymore. It is just super fun, and I could totally see this teaching it to kids and all sorts of different levels of gamers. That's what I love about kids' table board gaming. You can introduce all their games to any level of gamer, and it'll still be a good time. But yeah, number 9, Fossilus. Okay, so number 8, I had a really hard time with this one because I definitely wanted to put like a Marvel game in here because I do love Marvel games. And then I was like, oh wait, but what about the Batman, the animated series? Because you like that game too. And I'm like, okay, well I'll just keep it to Marvel. Batman will be for another day. But I decided on Marvel Champions. Marvel Champions is a really good game by Fantasy Flight Games. I like playing as, my favorite character to play as actually right now is I think Black Panther. Because I like all the different like weapons to make him super powerful. But I'm pretty sure that's going to change as I play different characters. There's so many characters. I'm hoping that we get like a Moon Knight expansion pack so I can play as Moon Knight because I want to play as Moon Knight. You know, Moon Knight, right guys? We're going to play as Moon Knight, right? Agent Venom looks pretty fun to play as, and so does Hawkeye. Hawkeye is one of my favorite characters. But I'm not sure if there's a Namor expansion pack. If there is, let me know in the comments below. If there's not, Fantasy Flight, Namor, let's get that out there, because Namor is my favorite superhero of all time. He's number 1, and he's gonna be in Black Panther. So then you can have Black Panther and Namor begrudgingly team up because they don't like each other in the comics, and they're probably not gonna like it. And okay, well they're not. That's not gonna happen in the movies for reasons. You know, Chadwick Boseman's passing. That would have been cool to see, though. That would have been cool to see. But I do like the different levels and how you can make this game more advanced or more simple for people to play and learn how to play this game. So you could pick like Rhino as like your beginner one. Spider-Man, he's a good one. I did enjoy playing as Spider-Man. He's actually in this game. And I do like playing as Spider-Man, but I do like the vibranium stuff. Number 8, Marvel Champions. Okay, so number 7 is the game Everdell by Starling Games, I think. I'm gonna double check. Is it? Starling Games, yes. It's Starling Games. I think I get the publisher for Wingspan and the publisher for Everdell mixed up. Odd. But anyways, in this game you are a little cute woodland critter trying to get ready for the next winter by building a nice community of little woodland critters. And, you know, you're competing against your opponents. One time I played a game, I think it was a 3-player game against Jordan and my dad. And I have to tell this story because it's so cool. So Jordan and my dad already were like almost on their final round for progressing through the seasons because they're like, oh, well, I can't do anything else. And I'm just sitting there still in like my first season. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to put this here, which I get this for free. So then that allows me to put this here. And I only used one figure. I swear, it's what happened. I only used one figure, and I still had a second one I could place down because I got a bunch of free stuff, and I had everything that was triggering off everything else. So I kept on getting more stuff to put out to get more cards, and then I had the critters to play for free, so I played that, which got me more stuff, which and it was really cool. And Jordan and my dad are like, how are you still just on round 1? But I haven't been able to do that since. That was a one-time thing for me, I guess, but it was really fun. I love the artwork on the Everdell cards. I love the mechanics, and I love how, even though you want to, this is one of those games where you want to have like everything, you want to go everywhere. You can't. You have to really think, where do I want to put this? But it definitely is a good range for people who want to get into this hobby. And I will say which ones are good and which ones are not for getting into the hobby. So, this one definitely is. And, it's just a really nice, calming game. And it's kind of one of those games where you can just stay in your own little bubble. So, number 7, Everdell. Okay, we go from staying in your own little bubble and just kind of competing against yourself to a wild madhouse, because number 6 is Rival Restaurants by Gap Closer Games. I do love this game so much. This one I found through my friend from Best Buy. Hello, Nikki. I've probably told this story like a billion times, so I will not bore you with it this time. But in this game, instead of like where you kind of are like in your own little bubble and you're kind of getting everything, everybody's like in everybody's face and they're all like reaching over each other and like punching, elbowing each other in the face. That doesn't actually happen, but sometimes it could, because it is very fast paced, very chaotic, but I love it. I love this game. I love how you have to complete, like, you complete these different recipes, and if the recipe is like the same type of food as your restaurant, you get bonus popularity points, and you could go from that, but then you like forget to take out the garbage, and you have this big pile of garbage, and you're like, oh no, that gives me nothing, and you're just like, why? And oh, it's so fun, so fun. I played this with a full set of people. I believe we did the full 6-player thing. And everybody I've taught this game to loves this game. Super fun. I think you could do it to play this game with some beginners. I haven't tried it, so it's not tested. I'm going to go on a maybe for that one. If you have played it with people new to this hobby, please let me know in the comments below. But oh my gosh, I love this game. It's crazy, it's wild, it's fun. It's Rival Restaurants, number 6. Okay, so number 5. We're gonna kind of slow it back down now. We went from wild and chaotic to a little more calm with a little bit of a competitive edge, and that is Oceans by North Star Games. For those of you who are not familiar, about the game Evolution. In the game Evolution, you are trying to gather food, and you create different species to help you get food. Food gets you victory points. Oceans, very, very much similar. It's not the same. You still need to get food. That is still a goal. It is a preference, and you do still put on traits. The difference is, once the Cambrian explosion kind of happens, then you can go put on the deep traits, and those are really powerful cards that can give your creature an advantage, like tentacles and like this huge ferocious appetite that just eats everything and all that stuff. This game is really cool. As always, North Star kills it with the artwork. I love the artwork in this game, and we will be teaching this game soon in a how to play video, so make sure to keep an eye out for that one. But, I do love Oceans. One of my favorite kind of traits is you can do like a special filter fish that when someone who's not a predator eats, you can kind of mooch off of them. But then you also have the predator cleaner that once a predator eats, you can mooch off of them. So you can have kind of both, and then you never have to do any work for your food, for gathering your food at all. You could just keep mooching on everybody. Jordan did that one time, and it frustrated us so much. She's laughing because she thinks she's funny. But that wasn't funny at all. That was frustrating, because I got like 2 food, and Jordan's like sitting there going, oh, look at all the fish I got. It's not funny. But anyways, number 5, Oceans. Alright, number 4 is Sleeping Gods by Red Raven Games. I do love this game so much. The problem is, I don't have the time to play it. I like how you can pause it. That's really good. but there's never a time where I'm like free enough, especially because I've been planning my wedding. But yeah, when I do play it, I love the artwork, I love the story, everything about this game is so amazing. And I like, so in this game, you are working together as a team. One player controls like a certain group of characters, and then the other one controls another certain group. And you can split up the characters between each person. This is up to 4 players. And you have to try to get out of this like magical world that you've been transported to. And you have to fight like all these different creatures and monsters, and you meet all these weird characters along the way. It's so good. It's so immersive. I love this game so much. It's the same guy who makes the game Above and Below and Near and Far, Ryan Lockett. He is a great designer. He's got a great company, Red Raven Games. He's phenomenal with the artwork. This artwork is beautiful to look at. But again, the major thing with Sleeping Gods is, if you're very pressed for time, I do not recommend getting this game. But if you're like one of those people who like to do that Dungeons and Dragons style, we play once a week or once a month kind of thing, yeah, definitely check this game out. It just depends on your schedule and how you can make this work. This is a very pausable game, though. You can pause everything and just set it back up to the way it was. There's so many ways you can continue this game, so it's not like entirely impossible for you to play it more than once a week or something like that. But that's enough about that. Number 4, Sleeping Gods. Okay, so number 3 is the game Lizard Wizard by Forbidden Games, designed by Glenn Drover, with artwork done by Annie Stieg. And I'm going to start off with this. The artwork is beautiful. Annie always does a fantastic job with the artwork in the games that she's done artwork for. Raccoon Tycoon, Railroad Rivals, she did the artwork for that one. Lizard Wizard, basically all the Forbidden Games stuff she did artwork for. And she always does a phenomenal job. I love her artwork so much. It's that big blue box right here. Right underneath Sleeping Gods. This one, it's like Raccoon Tycoon, but I definitely recommend, if you are new to the hobby, play Raccoon Tycoon and then see if you want to do Lizard Wizard, because this one does add more stuff to it. Definitely has a more higher difficulty level. So I do recommend, if you need to get some experience before you play this game, because there's a lot that comes at you in Lizard Wizard. But I love this game from head to toe. It is phenomenal. You get to get all these wizards and these towers and the combinations with the spells and everything, and all these combinations really work together so you can get the most points. Then you still got the auctioning and all that craziness that happens. Oh, it's so crazy. It's so fun. I love it. We did get to play this before it arrived. We played it before it arrived here. I backed it on Kickstarter. Before it arrived here, we got to play it at Gen Con, and I was just like, man, I really want this game to show up. But number 3, Lizard Wizard. Okay, so number 2 is the game Dune Imperium. This is probably the only other game I have that's based off of existing IP. Because we got Marvel Champions, which is based off of Marvel stuff, and we got Dune Imperium. Dune Imperium is based off of the Dune game that came out, well, it was supposed to come out in 2020, but it came out in 2021, and now we're still just patiently waiting for the sequel to come out, because Warner Brothers decided they wanted to wait and see how it was going to go, before they decided to make the sequel, because they're very experimental. But enough about bashing big billion-dollar movie studios. I do love this game. I like how you do need to strategize on what you want to do every turn, even if you get that third little helper, the swordsman. Even if you get that, you manage to get that 8 Solari and you manage to hire him, you still have to like really think, okay, do I want to put in go get spice? Do I want to go get Solari? Do I need to get water? Do I need to get troops? What do I want to get for this turn? How am I going to try to progress and get those victory points so I can just end this game and win? It doesn't always go the way you want, and a lot of the times you have to just really improvise. But it is super fun. Definitely keeps you on your toes. There is a bot that you can play against when you're playing with 2 players, and even when you're playing in a solo, because there is a solo for this game. It runs very well. I played the solo. I played the 2-player game. I played the 3-player game. I have not played a 4-player game yet. But I am excited too. I also got the expansion, The Rise of Ix. Love that as well. We have the deluxe edition of Dune Imperium, so we have like little miniatures instead of just little wooden guys. But yeah, number 2, Dune Imperium. Okay, so number 1, if you haven't figured it out yet, here it is. It's Root by Leader Games. I do love Root. Root is definitely one of my favorite games of all time. I mostly play this game online nowadays. I don't play it with other people. Mostly because it takes a while to set up. But that Kyle Farron artwork, top notch. The gameplay is really cool. I like how each faction is very different from each other. It doesn't feel like one is very similar or even the same to each other. It is, Cole Worrell is a great game designer. He is very good. He thought of everything when he designed this game. I do have a how to play video on this, but I don't know how helpful it is. Because, in all honesty, I do agree with what a lot of online gamers, a lot of gaming personalities and gaming, channels like this. The best way to learn is on the app. Get the Root app. It's pretty pricey. It's like $10.99, I think. But it's the best way to learn how to play Root in a good way. The problem is, when I play it with Jordan, she says she can only play it online because it points out what she can and can't craft. And I'm like, well, if you kind of need your handheld for this whole thing, then you're not really learning anything. You gotta, okay, I get that, but you gotta really pay attention, because the thing that you can do to craft is this little tiny symbol in the bottom corner of your card. But anyways, I love this. My favorite faction is definitely the Vagabond. He is my favorite one to play as. My second favorite is the Lizard Cult. And my third one is the Corvid Conspiracy. Corvid. Not the other thing. Okay? That's for the internet. The other thing without the R is for the internet. Which we are on currently, but not this internet. This is the fun internet. This is the fun internet where we talk about board games, not talk about, political stuff. We like having fun here. But anyways, Root, I love the artwork. I love the gaming mechanics. I love the fall board, the winter board, the underground board, the lake board. The lake board is actually really, really fun. I highly recommend trying that out if you have it. If you don't have it, I recommend getting it. It's a really fun board. Really great to try out. So number 1, Root. Well, there you go. There is my top 10 favorite games of all time. For now. Because, let's face facts, gaming personalities like this, like me, like Tom, like Rodney, like, Naveen and Monique and all those people out there, Mick and Starla, we play games constantly, and we're always being introduced to new games, and it's really, really hard to just pick 10 or 20 or whatever. I mean, I'm pretty sure even if I had my top 100 favorite games of all time, I'd probably still be it's not enough, because we do always get introduced to these new games. So, it's really hard to put together a list like this. Fortunately for me, that wasn't the case because it was kind of a no-brainer for a lot of these games. Some of them I had to put some thought into it, but a lot of them was like, oh yeah, this is going to go in here, this is going to go there, this is going to go here, this is going to go there. Some were like, oh, where should this one go? I don't know, but this one was enjoyable, and I'm hoping not to do this one again to the long future. But with that being said, I hope if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, hit that subscribe button, and ring the notification bell to be notified for videos just like these. If you're curious about any of these games and how you play them, I will be leaving how to play videos in and links in this video as link form in this video. It'll be mentioned in each one of the segments. It'll pop up, and you can click on it, go check it out, come back here, and then we can talk about it. But if you have heard about them, let me know what your top 10 favorite go-to games are in the comments below. So maybe I can try them out, and maybe they'll make the list sometime in the future. Be on the lookout for our next video. I believe it's a gameplay video. Yep, it's a gameplay video on the game Citadels, which did not make this list. I do love that game, though. But until then, thanks for the views.